Thought I would do a little tutorial on a gift for an 8-year-old's party that my daughter's going to this weekend. I'm going to take this book that is falling apart and I'm going to make it into a sketchbook for Maddie. So I've already bound some books or a book block to put in. I used Strathmore drawing paper. It's this medium surface 80-pound paper. That'll be good for just about anything. I'm not going to do a tutorial on book binding. There's plenty out there, and I can link that to this video. I'm going to use Yes Paste to glue this book block in. And then I wrote her name on this. This was already the name of the old book. And I'm just going to write this. I wrote it out in pencil and I'm just going to outline it with some acrylic ink. And I'm going to cover this, the author's name, on the spine. And then I'm going to do something a little special on the back. So I just need to glue. Okay, so I'm just going to carefully place it in here and glue down these tabs. This is actually raw canvas that has been gessoed. You can use linen or any kind of strong fabric. Book tape too works well, of course. I'm going to stick this freezer paper in there so it doesn't glue to the other pages. It's a lot of glue. I'm just going to wipe off some of the excess. Cut that to make it straighter. Mostly just need to protect the pages. There we go. It will not be perfect. I'm not going for perfection here. So the next thing I'm going to do while that dries is I'm going to paint over this, the author's name. And I have here a palette. It's sort of a wet palette. This is titanium buff. I'm going to get a little yellow ochre, smidge of purple. You can see it's too purple. I'm going to try to match the color as close as I can. A little more ochre. Oops, and the pink got in there. So just start over. acrylic. This is acrylic paint. So you're going to need to mix the color a little bit darker than you would think. I mean, a little bit lighter because it will dry darker. It's getting closer. Maybe just go over to the pile of titanium buff. It's going to be close enough. Just going to paint some of these frayed edges on the book. I don't have to cover all the imperfections. This is definitely a vintage book and it's going to look that way, and that's fine. You can thin out the paint, just a little bit of water so it will kind of blend in with that rest of the book. Alright, so the back I'm not going to worry about as much. Just the edges is what I wanted to cover. Just put a little water on this to blend it out. It's not going to be perfect. Alright, so now I'm going to use this. Just going to get a little brush. Not the bestie in the world, that's okay. There we go, we'll let that dry. Decided I would cover these tabs. So I cut this to the right size. Gonna use this acrylic medium.
Can I help?
No, don't play with those.
What is this one?
It's not right now.
Is it pretend or real?
It's real.
Can I keep this one?
No, baby.
Hmm. I want to help.
Not a lot for you to do. Don't touch that sharp. Hey, that's hot. Don't touch that. Don't. Hey, that's sharp too. Stop. Okay, leave it alone. It's supposed to be a school day. But as usual, someone gets sick just in time.
Just in time? That doesn't...
For you to stay home. All right.
Mommy, I want to do something. I want to help.
Just a minute. All right, you could add some little envelopes in here, little places to hide things, but I'm not going to. There's the cover, and I haven't written her name here yet. I haven't done anything to the back.
What happened to that book? The old one?
To go with this gift, I have this little box that I found, just a jewelry box.
What is she making?
And I have 3 little shells.
What are you making? What are you making for Maddie? Is that for Maddie?
And I bought watercolors to go in these shells. In this little box.
Is that for Maddie?
Yes. And these are not the most expensive kind, but they're not the cheapest either. I like the kids to have it. Okay, so I'm going to use the hot glue gun. The back of these shells. Put them in this little box. Should probably make sure they fit first. What's the best way to arrange them? Be better if you did that beforehand. All right, close enough. Could not find the lid to this, so I made a little sleeve for it to go into, like a matchstick. It's not perfect. As you can see, it's a bit wonky, but that's okay. Just made it out of recycled cereal box and covered it with scrapbook paper. So I'm just going to fill this generously with yellow. I just chose the primary colors, but you can choose whatever colors combination you want. This will dry soon enough. Let it dry at least overnight. have a few days before the party, so it will dry in time for that. I can make another kit for someone else for the next party. So that will just slide in there, a little palette. And I bought a pack of these water brush pens so you can fill it up with water for watercolors. I'll just send one with her. Maybe the medium. I have a piece of raw canvas that's been gessoed, so it's pretty stiff. I have my daughter's drawing, carbon paper, putting it shiny side down. Try to transfer this for the back of the book. Have this tool. I believe it's a clay tool. And I'm going to try to transfer this exactly like my daughter did. You can use a pencil to transfer. Sometimes though, with a lot of lines, you can get confused. So if I use this, I don't have lines on my drawing, on the original, then I can use it to reference in case some of my lines have gotten wonky on the transfer. Or if I forget, whatever. So there's my drawing. I'm going to outline this with ink, with the same ink that I used for the book. Okay, so I finished this. I did the ink on the raw canvas, and I'm just going to glue it down with some more acrylic medium. And I think, before I glue it down, I am going to add a button, a vintage button here, and some elastic underneath here to create a way to keep this closed. So I found this button. I'm going to put it there. In order to get the holes in this book, I'm going to stab it with an awl. So here's my awl. This is a work surface, so I don't care. Otherwise, you need to put down a mat. I chose this button basically for the size and color, because this is a little girl's party. So I think Maddie will like pink. It kind of goes with the book. It's kind of a muted pink. It goes with this color. So I've got the holes in here, I'm going to use some book wax thread, some of this. It's bookbinding thread, and I'm going to use that to sew this on so it'll be nice and strong. So I cut off a piece, just make it a knot, put the knot on the inside. Yeah? No. It'd be better if I just tie this. I'll leave that for now. Probably should not have tied that so tight. Do not stab your fingers. All right. Let's see if I can get this in without going through the book. Nope. Okay. All right, I'm going to tie it just again, make it super strong. Maybe a little extra. There we go. Can cover that with something. Not sure yet. All right, so I'm going to do one more thing. Make a big loop. Just go underneath it to give it a little bit of a way to put that elastic underneath it. It's not exactly as easy to sew this book board as it is a fabric. All right, I'm just going to cut that and hope for the best. Winging it. All right, so she has a beautiful little button now. And then on the inside, no, the outside, this is the back. Make sure it's up. Okay, I'll go ahead and have these plastic palette knives. These are really good for spreading glue. Mostly just use it for glue. Don't actually use these for painting. I have the metal ones for painting. These I only use for this kind of thing. Okay. So, need to go further down. Obviously just eyeballing this. Need a little extra here in the corner. This is rolled up. Just gonna wipe off the excess. That will dry clear. Just want to make sure there's plenty holding down this corner. All right. And I forgot to put the whole reason I waited was to do the elastic. Okay, so I want to leave enough room to go underneath this, but also be able to hold a pen. So I'm thinking that's probably good right there. This will have to sit for a while to dry in order for it to be extra strong. I may throw a button on the back just to hold that right there. I think that would be the strongest. And then this, that's maybe a little too loose. Okay. It is elastic, so it'll stretch. All right, so I'm going to glue that, but then I'm going to poke another hole with the awl and sew another button, and maybe I can find one similar to that. Okay, so I found this button. I'm just going to put it over here. I want to make sure I get it through the elastic. All right. Still have some thread left. I'm just going to try to use that. All right. I might cover this edge just to cover the knots from the buttonholes. That one's a little flatter actually than this one. That's okay. Just gonna eyeball it. Better to measure, but here we are. And the extra glue on the back of the threads will help secure those knots. All right. That is by far not perfect, but that's okay. It's made with love, not perfection. All right, so we got the front, the back, the button. I believe that will be big enough for her pen. There we go. This little sleeve. So I just need to find a packaging that's nice, and my daughter can make a card.